Hey guys, welcome to my channel where it is all about hope, healing, and wholeness. If you are new here, my name is Shannon. Welcome. And as you already saw from the title of the video, I am going to be sharing some things that we can do to make sure that when calamity happens, no matter where you are, that you are prepared. And hopefully, once you prepare, you will stay prepared. And so I wanted to start off by saying this is not fear-based. Listen, if you are a believer, if you are in Christ, we do not fear. However, the Bible tells us that we can do things to prepare as God shows us what's to come. You know, the Word of God says that He does nothing without first telling His prophets. And so we have heard words, I have heard words throughout the last decade that calamity will be starting to happen. And of course, you know, with the pandemic and with, you know, in the United States, some of the things that have occurred in the past several months, including the cyber attacks and the weather patterns and how things have affected food and the distribution of stuff, there's going to be more and more to come. And so again, this is not fear-based, but if we can be prepared, then we can be impacted less than what we would otherwise. And so I'm going to be sharing a couple of things that you can do to just prepare and make things a little bit more comfortable for you, and hopefully minimize the impact of the things to come. And so, you know, I tell you, this past, I don't even know, year and a half, 2 years, whatever, has really been something. And for Christians, we know God will take care of us. But again, we want to make sure that we are using wisdom. And so I am going to be sharing some practical tips of what we can do. I'm also going to be sharing some resources that I have as far as where to get certain things, what things you need to make sure that you have on hand. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in and get started. So what are just some practical things that you need to make sure that you are doing? From a financial standpoint, you need to make sure that you're doing the basics of having cash accessible to you, right? So I remember like the last 2 incidents that I've been in that affected my surrounding area, major retailers did not have electricity. Most of the retailers did not have electricity. Banks, gas stations, large shopping centers and stores, grocery stores, all of that. And I remember going into places and seeing cash only, cash only, cash only, cash only. And so when there is some sort of catastrophe, devastation, whatever you want to call it, cash is king. Your card, my card, it's almost meaningless. You know, I felt completely useless. Like my cards were completely useless in those places. And I'm probably like most people, I don't carry cash typically. I only carry my cards. And so that's my first thing. Make sure you have cash accessible to you. And if for some reason you don't want to keep it in your home or whatever, make sure you keep it somewhere where you trust the people or whatnot, whether or not it's your parents, you know, family members, very close friends, whatever. But make sure you have enough cash to be able to maneuver and negotiate and do whatever you need to do to keep and stay, you know, with your head above the water and just keep life going as smooth as possible. Okay. Second thing, financially speaking, just in general, try to, you know, get out of debt. We don't know financially where this country or even the world system is going. And so getting out of personal debt is really a benefit to you. Racking up a bunch of debt now is just not wise. There's too much going on and there's too much that is coming down the pike and a lot of unknown stuff. And so nobody would have been able to predict the pandemic. Nobody would have been able to predict all these cyber attacks that are happening. Nobody would be able to predict a whole bunch of stuff. And so being, up to your neck in debt, owing a whole bunch of people, I would really recommend staying clear of that. In fact, I would try to save as much money, invest, insure things at this time. Now, so am I saying that you got to live like a pauper and not spend any money and not go anywhere? No. What I am saying, because I do know a lot of people need to take a vacation, especially after we have been through this whole situation, with the pandemic or whatever. Some people need to go on vacation. I get it. But don't be wasteful. Don't throw money away. Just be mindful of money, and whatever you can save, save it. Save it. Don't be wasteful with money. Don't buy a whole bunch of stuff that you don't even need. Your closet's full already. You have enough shoes. Don't be wasteful with your money. Try to put as much money away, because you don't know what's coming. So really, in the future, you don't know what you're going to need. You don't know what you're going to need access to. You don't know what's going to happen to your income. You don't know what could potentially happen to your finances. And we've seen things play out, like even in the country of Greece, in how they stopped and blocked people from getting only a couple $100 out a day of the money that they had in their bank account or their institution, their banking institution. And so, all of these things we need to be wise about. We need to be mindful about, because we don't know what's coming. But all we want to make sure to do is that we can do what we can do to be prepared. So you guys, if you are someone who has a lot of money and you have one or two accounts where all of your money is, just be mindful of the fact that, most banks are insured. The money is insured by the FDIC, and the cap on what is insured is $250,000. So if you are somebody who has all your money in one bank and you have more than that, then you probably want to split it up. Now, I know that there are other people who are saying that does not apply to me. Well, whether or not it applies to you now, listen, don't dismiss it, because there are a lot of millionaires in the making, and you are probably one of them. And so keep that in your back pocket. Be mindful of that. But we always want to make sure that we are covering our money, making sure that we have access to our money, and making sure that the money that we do have in institutions is insured, and we don't keep anything above that in those institutions. Okay. The other thing that I want to say from just a practical point of view before I start showing some of the stuff that I want to show is I am so guilty of this. I will run my gas down until I am practically on fumes. Listen. This last thing that we saw on the East Coast with Colonial and how the gas, was not accessible and everything. It was like, I was like, you can't do that anymore. I was like, okay, God, I won't do that anymore. So if you are like me, listen, we got to change the way that we flow and go with this whole gas thing. And so I'm recommending to you, I am not letting my gas tank fall below 3/4 of a tank. Okay, so I'm keeping it 3/4 to full at all times. At all times. It's not a question from here on out. And, depending on what does come, if you are in a place where there is a natural disaster, or you are in a place where you do have to leave, that is not something that you want to be trying to get at the last minute, gas, because everybody and their grandma is going to be at those tanks, and the prices are going to be sky high. They are going to be ripping you off. And so be mindful of that as, we're moving forward or whatever. At least you have the peace of mind in knowing that your gas tank is always topped off or close to topped off if anything were to occur. Okay, so what are some things that you need to have in your home on hand and things of that sort? Focus on getting things that are solar operated. So you always want to make sure that you have plenty of power banks, not just one or two, not just something that's going to have like low power charge or whatever, but enough for days if you need it. And if you can get a solar powered one, then you don't have to worry about this sucker losing any power, any charge to it. You can put it in the sun and it can charge, and be powered up. This is one of the best things that I just recently got. I went through an incident recently where had an electrical outage or whatever. And what happened was that I ended up having to plug my phones into my vehicle. And my vehicle ran out of juice. It ran out of juice. And when it ran out of juice and the battery was dead, then I was kind of stuck. Right? And so if you have chargers, if you have, all of this stuff or whatever, you don't have to worry about it, especially get multiple solar ones, right? And so this one, it has 2 USB ports and, they have other ones that have a whole bunch of stuff in it, but I got this one and I will definitely be getting more of them or whatever, but I kind of wanted to get this one first to see how it worked or whatnot. Some stuff you get is good, some stuff not. So this one seems to be pretty good. I got this off of Amazon. I'll try to remember to put a link below of it. But there's tons of them on Amazon. And so if you have an Amazon Prime account, which I think almost everybody has, get one, get 2, get 3, get 5, get multiple ones. The other thing that you want to make sure that you have is a solar flashlight, right? And so this one, okay, it starts off like that, but it's really, really handy because it's super bright too. This thing at night, oh, let me tell you, you're going to be lighting everything up. And so it's got flashlight down below, it's got it on the side, it's got those lights that you saw before, and it's solar. Right? I was talking about the solar power. And not only is it solar power, but you can charge on this thing as well. And so you want to have multiple options to charge. You want to have multiple options as far as your lighting is concerned. With this, you don't have to worry about the flame with candles. You don't have to worry about batteries. Now, I do have some lights with battery that are battery operated or whatever, which I really love as far as the light output that it gives, but this is golden. And I have multiple ones like this because, again, all you need is the sun to charge this sucker up. And so I can't remember if I got this on Amazon. I'll look at my account, and if I did get it on Amazon, I'll link it below. But again, they're all over the place. I wanted to get just one again. First of all, this is super duper lightweight. And so this is not something that, this one is not a sturdy one. If you drop it, it could definitely break. I mean, that's how lightweight it is. And it's made of plastic. It's got these 2 handles above. And then if you're using the light that's, underneath or whatever, where it stands up, you have this handle on the side. So get a solar power flashlight as well. All you need is the sun. All you need is the sun. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about, of course, I gave you my car story and all the other stuff. And so I was like, I got to get around that. And that's what I'm going to show you coming up right now. This is my little mini generator, and you see it is small enough to fit on a bar stool. I wanted to put it here so you guys could have some kind of like, size relation to kind of see. And this is not a large bar stool, okay? So what you will find when you look at it is that you have multiple outlets, right? You have the 12 volt, you have 2 actually of the 12 volt, and then you have an actual outlet, right? And so you have 2. And so why is this so important? Because you can use household appliances that, you know, don't take a lot of energy or whatever, and plug it in if there is ever a situation where you would need it. And so what am I talking about? So this is something that I could use my mini gen to cook stuff if I needed to. This is just a plug-in skillet top. And so, you know, as you can already tell, I got the little top to it. I got my skillet top. In addition to that, y'all, I could use my air fryer. Let me just show you. So you can pretty much cook anything in an air fryer, including, listen, I made some brownies last night in my air fryer. You can crisp up fish, chicken. You can cook, you know, any type of meat in here. I typically, if I have French fries or whatever from a restaurant, or even frozen fries, I use that. You can cook potatoes in here. You can cook pretty much anything in here. And so if you have a mini generator, you have options. You have options. And so the other thing that I wanted to show you about this mini generator is that it's actually more than a generator. It is actually a device to jumpstart your car. And so you have both the red and the black. And so you have a dual purpose device here to use if there's ever a situation where you lose electricity. You can charge your phones up, right? You have the two USB. And in addition to all of that, you also have, I don't know what this is, but I know it's something important. I think it's something to, if you have a tire that's blown or something, it looks like an air thing for your tire. And then you have a compass in here. So you guys, I so wish I would have had this when I was plugging my phone into my car, because let me tell you what happened. I had to end up calling my insurance company or AAA, one of them, to come over and jump my car, which was a whole hassle because they were super busy just based on what was going on in the area. It held me back from being able to go out. I wasn't able to drive my vehicle. And it was just a total hassle where if I would have had this, I would have not had to deal with charging my phone in my car, then my car battery going dead. And so really having one of these things, especially the one where you can charge your car, y'all, I cannot stress it enough. It is a game changer. You cannot go wrong with having a mini generator, or what they call a power station. Now, as I already indicated to you guys, I got this off of Amazon. They had a lot of different options. But this was the one that I felt was still kind of like a decent buy at a very good price, but also had a lot of options. So I will leave the link below, but keep in mind that they have huge, I mean, they have big ones, right? Oh, I've never seen this. I just realized I had a light option on here, and I see it right there. So if you're out, this is great for camping too. This is phenomenal for camping, because if you're ever caught out there, your car goes dead, you know, anywhere, if you're traveling, your car goes dead, you want to make sure you have a source of power. It'll do you right. And this is something that I would definitely recommend you guys get, because you want to be able to be prepared and have options should anything occur. So in addition to being able to utilize all of those different things with your mini gen or your power, what do they call it? Your power station or whatnot that you can get. One of the things that I found, like if it's hot, if it's, you know, if you need a little fan or whatever, this is a USB fan, right? It plugs in the little USB thing. I got this thing at Walmart for, I mean, it was next to nothing, but I love it because I can unplug it and carry it around with me. So some of the rooms in my place get hotter than others, and so when I'm initially in there, I will just take this little thing with me. And this is something that, you know, depending on what time of year, whatever things happen, you might want to have one of these little tiny mini fans if you don't already have one that is powered through USB. And you can use, you know, again, your mini gen. So the other thing, heater, you can put that in your generator if you are caught out there during wintertime or some place where it's cold most of the time or whatever, and you need to have some warmth. In addition, so I had given this to my mother, like, I don't even know, probably a decade ago or whatever. Maybe not a decade, but a long time ago. And when I had an incident not long ago where I lost the electricity, it's wintertime, it's this, that, or whatever, she was like, Shannon, I'm going to send you what you gave me. I was like, what did I give you? She said, car heater. So this is like a blanket that you can plug in to your car. Also, you know, since you have that 12 volt on your generator, you can plug it into your generator. In addition, to this being able to be used in your car, using a regular, like a electric throw. If you're not in your car and you just want to use a regular electric throw, you can plug that into the generator. And so having access to a generator, electric, I can't tell you how much smoother it will make things for you if something indeed occurs. So I'm just throwing out a couple of more like practical things that you can, you know, use or whatever. I would also really highly suggest this. I highly suggest that you write out some key phone numbers of people who, if something happens, if indeed you do not have access to your phone, or your phone dies, or something happens, or it gets wet and you can't drive, whatever, right? That you have their phone numbers someplace written down, like on a little card in a wallet or whatever. So at least if something does happen and you definitely do lose electricity, maybe you can't get your generator, or maybe you just run out of juice or whatever, you have phone numbers actually written down. You know, we used to be able to remember everybody's phone number. Like, I could remember like 89 phone numbers in my head when I was little. But it's a different day. Write the numbers out. Have pertinent information that you have on your phone written out somewhere, okay? And I would also suggest, just in case there is a situation where you have to leave your home immediately, that you have all of your critical documentation, your social security card, your passport, your well, you probably have your driver's license already, but you have your birth certificate, all of that stuff in one place so you can just grab it. I have all of my stuff in one little thingy thing, and I know where it is. If something were to happen, I just grab it, I go, right? And I already have a couple of things in my car ready for me to go. So anyway, you guys, I hope that this was helpful. If you liked information like this, if you want more information about things that you can do to prepare or whatnot, you know, this was just a preliminary basics or whatnot. But if you want more information, I would be happy. I love doing research on stuff like this and even sharing just what I know. So, but again, the video is getting a little long. I know some people are already checking out. So let me know. Give us a thumbs up if you like this information. If you like this video, hit subscribe if it's your first time. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.